I don't have any type of opinion of where he lives. He can live wherever he wants in the States. It's a free country. As a foreigner, that's what allowed me to be here, the fact that this is a free country. But there are limitations to what I think you can say and what you can believe. I believe that you can say whatever you want, even if your opinion seems societally or objectively improper. I believe that you are able to say unpopular opinions and you should be allowed to do so. But I also believe that there's a limit when you influence other people.
Trader Marks, junior here at the University of Arkansas.
Same question. Like, what do you think about the Ku Klux Klan?
Yeah.
That they live so close to you, 2 hours from here, the leader lives here. What do you think about a hateful organization like that still existing in 2024?
Still existing in 2024 is the key word for that, how I feel about that hateful organization, if you want to call it that, or whatnot, a cult or a fanboy gang or whatever, that want to all be like each other, you know, powerful and upmighty, want to be king and, you know, destroyer of all if you don't listen to me or abide by what I like or do. No, I don't like it, you know. They do nothing to me, obviously. I'm living here freely enough to tell you all, like, my story of how I feel about them. So them being close to me like that, it always sits there, you know. You always understand, like, there's danger near somewhere, always. So, yeah.
My name is Sebastian,
My name is Alberto.
and it's a little uncomfortable to know that the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, an organization that hates people like us because we're Hispanic, lives so close to the campus.
Yes, I feel like these people should stop that narrative of judging people because of their color, or their skin, or their background, or what language they speak. I think that people are worth more than that.
So I don't know why a group like that still exists in today's day and age. It's something I don't really think about very often, but now that it's brought to my attention that they live so close. I mean, I'm not really surprised because we're in Arkansas, but I just find it quite sad, honestly, and I don't know. I think that kind of like violence and is just not. Also, like it being near such a big university, it's quite scary. And I mean, I haven't seen them do any activity around here, so I feel good about that. But just that they're so close in proximity is kind of worrying, I guess.
Have you seen any or heard of any like racism or racist people like here at the university, or ever seen that?
I haven't seen that, but I have seen outside of campus there was a church that was doing something with a big banner, and they were writing anything that people have felt like they've been like racist towards or was discriminated against. So I saw that, and I'm sure it has happened, maybe in my circle or group of friends that I haven't really seen it, but I know it definitely goes on.
Sí, claro, por supuesto que, a ver, conozco al Cucus, ¿no? Al final soy de Europa, soy de España, de Madrid en concreto. No solo aquí, sino en todo el mundo es muy famoso, y más ahora que estoy aquí en Arkansas, ¿no? Que tengo esa proximidad, he tenido la oportunidad de saber un poquito más de ellos. Sí que es cierto que yo al final, como comentaba, soy europeo y estamos teniendo muchos problemas de inmigración últimamente, sobre todo en un país como el mío, España, Italia, del sur europeo. Muchos problemas con el tema de bueno, pateras del norte de África y de África profunda también, y en cierta manera entiendo ese sentimiento que tienen, ¿no? De bueno, no de rechazo hacia otras razas, sino de protección a lo suyo, ¿no? Es decir, parece que hoy en día es un crimen, es un pecado el simple hecho de, joder, de estar orgulloso de lo que tú eres, de defender lo que tú eres. Parece que si tú estás orgulloso de ser negro, moro del norte de África, mozárabe, iraní, no pasa absolutamente nada, pero si dices que estás orgulloso de ser blanco, eres un racista. Y eso es algo que yo entiendo bueno, de su mentalidad.
Well, since we are in 2024 already, it's kind of weird to see that we'll still have that kind of groups over here. Me as a South American person, it's kind of difficult to see that the persons that I know from South America uh, have suffered this kind of racism from people from here. So it's kind of weird that nowadays we're still seeing this kind of stuff.
Eu acho que é um absurdo. Eu não entendo por que uma organização desse tipo que está aqui para ter ódio contra outras pessoas na base de raça, acho que é um absurdo. Especialmente nas coisas que aconteceram com a sociedade até agora, a gente vive uma sociedade que na lei não existe mais racismo. Então acho que é uma coisa que ter um grupo que odeia pessoas na base da raça, eu acho que é um absurdo. E eu acho que eles são um grupo terroristas, porque na verdade eles usam esse ódio para botar medo nas pessoas. E também eu sei que provavelmente na cidade onde eles vivem não existem pessoas de minorias ou negras ou muçulmanas ou até católicas, como você disse que eles não gostam de católicos. Então eu acho que eles têm que ser eliminados. Eu acho que o governo tem que fazer alguma coisa para parar com esse grupo, como eles fariam com qualquer outro grupo terrorista. Não acho que eu não tenho medo deles, porque eles estão muito longe de mim, e também eu não acho que uma pessoa do KKK me viria e pensaria que assim, ela é sul-americana, porque eu sou sul-americana, mas eu também sou europeia. Meus pais têm descendência europeia, então eu acho que eu não represento o Brasil inteiro nas minhas features que eu tenho, né? Mas me deixa um pouco... Eu não gosto de saber que eles estão tão perto, eu não gosto de saber que eles estão aqui, mas eu não me sinto como um target para ele. Eu sei que uma pessoa que é estúpida o suficiente para odiar outra pessoa por raça, eu acho que eles nem pensariam que eu sou brasileira. Eu acho que eles achariam, ela é branca. Então ela, sei lá, e às vezes quando eu uso meu cordão de cruz, então acho que eles vão pensar, ela é branca e ela é cristã. Então acho que eu não tenho medo deles, não.
I got a story actually, man. My sophomore year, I played baseball or whatever. We traveled up there to Harrison, and we had to stay in a hotel for the night or whatnot. But as you know, Harrison is a very racist town and everything like that. A lot of people who believe in the Ku Klux Klan, whatever culture, they live there, and they would not let us stay there. No one on the team stay there because we had quote-unquote niggers on our bus. So like the movie Jackie Robinson, I watched it, it came true, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was like that until I got into that environment and that environment, man, and it's pretty shitty. So I say as a black man, that's just a hateful reminder of what our ancestors went through, you know what I'm saying? My past went through, and you know, to see it still going on today and they fought so hard to diminish that, like to, you know, show all love still through it all and understand like, hey, no war, but stop or, you know, whatever. It don't work that way. You know, it's life, it's the world. But yeah, I definitely say terrible, terrible. in the end, it's always gonna be fuck the KKK.
My name is Thomas Robb. I'm from Harrison, Arkansas, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, and I'm a grandpa and have been married for 58 years.
That's great. You are the leader, the ground leader of the organization, the Ku Klux Klan.
National Director, yes. Let me clarify, when you refer to the KKK, okay.
Yeah.
The word Klan or Ku Klux Klan is public domain, so anybody can use that phrase, and anybody can use that name. You literally, if you want to decide, I'm going to be the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and nobody can sue you and say you're not.
Okay.
Then if you wanted to, you could give an interview to a reporter who wants to do an interview with the head of the KKK, and he could talk to you, and nobody could say that you're an imposter because it's public domain. And therefore, you could say all kinds of crazy and wild things, you know, and then it could be reported. The leader of the KKK says he wants to kill all black people. You follow me?
Yeah.
And so you have to understand that KKK or Ku Klux Klan is public domain, and so there is no one organization. Around David Duke, I don't know if you're familiar with David Duke or not. He used to be our national director. We've been around for, we're the oldest existing Klan organization in the country. There are a lot of groups that come and go over the years, have come and gone. We do not accept and we do not try to recruit members from other countries.
Okay.
We do have sometimes from other countries join, but we don't actively try to recruit members from other countries. We don't set up units in other countries. We figure we barely can deal with our issues of our own nation. We certainly can't be dealing with issues in another country.
Yeah.
So we don't attempt to organize in any other country. It's simply the United States.
Okay. And you said you let members from other nations join?
They can join if they want to, but we don't set them up as a unit or leaders or anything like that. If they want to support the organization and join, they can do that. But we do not actively go out and try to recruit members from other countries.
And what's the process of joining like? Is there like a recruitment
It's
process?
easy. It's like joining the First Baptist Church here. You know, the only requirement we have, the person has to be white and they have to be a professing Christian. If they are not a professing Christian, then they can't join. We don't have any religious test to say, is this your belief, Christian belief, this is your Christian belief? Okay, we're gonna, hang on a second.
How do you get involved with the
Oh.
Ku Klux Klan and became the leader?
Okay. Well, I was raised in a family that was very patriotic, Christian.
Do you think that's where kind of the racism or the just trying to be separatist, that's where it starts with your family?
At that time, that's the way everybody thought. That was the way everybody thought. What I'm saying now today is only odd today. It would not be, everything I'm saying today would have been widely accepted in 1955. But no problem at all. I went to a church by folks that were members of Ebenezer Baptist Church, and there's a black couple came in. Oh, no, not black. A man and white. No, it was a black couple. They came into the church, and I just remembered some of the older people saying, "What are they doing here?" Whether you think is right or wrong, that's not a point. I'm telling you that was the attitude. So what I'm telling you today would not be considered strange in 1950. So to say that's where it came from. Yes, it came from that, but that's what the attitude of most people was in 1950.
About interracial?
Well, I'm totally against interracial marriage.
You're against it?
Absolutely. I remember attending the Michigan State Fair when I was about 16 years old and seeing an interracial couple there. And everybody stared, thought this was not a thing you normally saw. Now, you might say, well, why, what's wrong with it? That's not the point. The point, it was not accepted. In other words, that was our culture. That was the characteristic of our nation. We were not a nation that embraced interracial marriage or integration.
And what would you do in the case that someone in your family married or dated someone from another race? How would you feel? What would you do about it?
No, first off, hopefully they wouldn't, but if they wouldn't be welcome in my family anymore.
The family member wouldn't be part of
There wouldn't be a family member after that. I mean, otherwise I'd be a hypocrite, wouldn't I? If I told everybody that it's wrong, but then, okay, what in my family, so I guess it's okay now. No, that'd be a hypocrite, wouldn't it?
Well, if you can continue the story of how you became
Pardon?
a leader. If you can continue
Well,
the story.
so I was raised in a patriotic family. My folks respected the work of Joseph McCarthy, who's a senator from Wisconsin. He was being demonized. If we would have listened to Joseph McCarthy, we wouldn't have the issues we're facing today, especially with North Korea. But that's going back in history. And so as I grew up, raised as a Christian conservative with that song. And when I was in a junior in high school, I joined a group called the John Birch Society. You can look them up on the internet if you're unfamiliar with them, the John Birch Society. I was a member of them, and then my folks got a publication in our home called The Pilgrim Torch by Dr. Kenneth Goff from Colorado. Dr. Goff was a member of the Communist Party back in the 30s, and he eventually left the Communist Party. He had a reconnection with the Lord. He, as his testimony was, he was in his home washing dishes one day, and in his mind, he started humming and singing some of the songs of the church that he grew up with in the church, Rock of Ages and Come Thou Fountain, Faith of Our Fathers. So he started singing those, and that began a reconnection. He rededicated himself to Christ. Excuse me. He testified before the Martin Dies Committee, which is a House committee in Washington. Later became called the House Committee on Un-American Activities, and testified before them because he had some rank in the Communist Party. They tried to kill him, not the House Committee on American Activities, but the communists. He lost a leg, threw him into a subway train, lost a leg in the subway, and he had a school in Colorado. And so I went to that school when I finished high school. And went there on a scholarship, went there for a couple of years, got a Bachelor of Theology degree there, met my wife there, who had the same similar background, and we met there. My life has always been in the area of evangelism, and so when we left there, we moved to Bellflower, California, when Bellflower was still a white, nice city, which is not now. And
so now that it's not white, it's not nice anymore?
Well, you tell me of a nice black neighborhood that is safe. You tell me about a white neighborhood that is not safe. Like Pine Bluff. Why don't people come to Harrison? When I moved to Harrison, I'm going to come back to your question. When I came to Harrison, I didn't come here to change anything. I came here because this was a community that had the same ideals that I understood and that could appreciate and value. Okay, but then there's sometimes people move here and they want to change Harrison, and I thought, why come here? I want to come to Harrison because it's a nice community, good people, good values. It's a nice, wholesome area. I want to move there, and then move here, then they want to change it. Why don't they go to Pine Bluff? If they want integration so bad, well, move to Pine Bluff. They don't want to do that. They want to come to Harrison because it's safe. Anyway, so we left. I'm not sure where I was at in my timeline here, but we after we got married, went to California, lived there for a while, and I studied under Dr. Roy Gillespie, minister, for a year, and then from there we moved to Tucson, Arizona, where I was finished my high school years in Tucson, Arizona, Palo Verde High School, and so we moved back to Tucson, and then about 2 years later, we just felt that Tucson was not that the immigration, and this is going back 50 years ago, so I could see what's going on, and we decided Tucson was not going to be a safe place in a few years from now to raise children. The immigration is
Because of the immigration of the
immigration, yes.
This is in the border with Mexico, Arizona, right?
The borders of Mexico, yes. And so we decided to move out of Arizona when our children were young and still had control over their lives. And so we moved here to Harrison in actually moved up to Missouri for a short while. Then we moved to Harrison here. We actually moved up Bass. You know where Bass is at? On the other side of Mount Judy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we moved up there for a little while. When we first came here, I used to ask people, first location, I asked where Mount Judea was at. Nobody knew where Mount Judea was. And they said, oh, you mean Mount Judy? And I said, oh, okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, I would call it Mount Judea. They didn't know what Mount Judea was.
In this journey, where do you start, like having affiliations to the Ku Klux Klan?
Well, I started a publication in Arizona called The Message of Old, and I continued on here. When I moved here, I had to own a printing business. When I came here, I continued my publication. I go around and speak at some places. I'd go down and speak at some rallies down in Texas. Not a member of the Klan, just as a Christian conservative spokesman. I knew David Duke, and because of his connection, knowing him, I thought the Klan offered a biggest bang for the buck. In other words, that it offers opportunity to reach people's message. It has a lot of baggage to it. I'm aware of the baggage. You don't have to tell me about the baggage. I know there's baggage, the rumors and the innuendos, and so I know there's baggage to it. You're out killing people, murdering people, you're a racist, and so on. I know there's baggage. But there's that baggage is going to be attached to anybody who openly declares their pride of who they are, their people, and their heritage and culture. I don't care if they're Klan or they're mega Republicans. If you say, I'm proud of being white, I'm proud of my heritage, I'm proud of my culture, I want to preserve that. I don't want to demonize it. I want to preserve that for future generations. If you say that, they're going to throw the same baggage on you.
Or what will you do to
I don't think I have to do anything.
stop illegal immigration? You say
We'll stop illegal immigration.
And
America's founded as
to do
America's
this
founded as a white Christian country. Every single territory that entered the Union until the Civil War required you to be a white person, be a citizen of that territory. North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, every territory, you had to be a white person to become a citizen of the territory. So the country is founded and maintained and grew by preserving our white people, white heritage. If you're in the South, if you're a black man, you want to move to Michigan or Indiana, any of your northern states, you could not move to Michigan, even though you think it's a free state. You could not move to Michigan without paying like $1,000 bond to move into the state. So if you're a black man and you're a free black man and you want to move to Minnesota, well, yeah, you could. You had to pay a $1,000 bond to move in the state, but you couldn't move in. So the whole country is based upon preserving our heritage and culture. We built a great country. From the time Pilgrims came here in 1620 until 1965, we built an enormously powerful, successful, wealthy country, giving more opportunity to even the poorest person could rise up and become successful in their careers. It was done to preserve our culture here. We were a European country that was just in the North American continent, but we were a European country. In 1965, we began to bring massive immigration. And look where our country is today. We're in a nation in debt. We're a nation that is confused. We're a nation that, as far as I'm concerned, from my preacher standpoint now, that have been plagued by God. In fact, in Deuteronomy 28, I'm doing prescription now, it says, the stranger that is within your gates is going to get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. We've allowed aliens into our nation, into our gates, into our homeland, and it's brought down so we, the people, the children who built this country, are ashamed of being saying it's okay to be white.
So you're saying the U.S. is right now a nation in decline because of these so-called third world immigrants?
Third world immigrants, and also because I think God has withdrew his blessings from us. As an organization, we cannot, but, you know, I support Donald Trump. You know.
And
do I like everything he says or does? No.
these people support you back?
What people?
People from the Republican Party support
No.
you?
If they'll come out and say, I support the ideology of Tom Robb, it'll be the end of their career, you know that. So I can't imagine anybody supporting Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, you know. We have the Klan, or white nationalist groups, okay, has been portrayed by a media to be this element that you project, okay? And so there is an element of people who will join, like that guy who says, I'm gonna join the Klan. Why? Because I hate niggers, you know? And I said, well, that's not, you call the wrong group. Now that guy, okay, if I was saying, oh yeah, I'll join, that guy might think, he wants to join because he thinks he's in a group that's going to go after the guys. He's going to get them. He's going to put a robe on and night ride through the streets, and he's going to run them out of town. Okay, that guy is mentally deranged. Okay, and so when a person, when the media projects that if you hate black people, then you join the Klan. Then you get those people that are mentally deranged. Then think that's a group I want to join. You know. And if they can't join, then they might go out and start their own group, like I mentioned. So that does happen, you know. But I don't know when the last time I've heard about a Klan lynching, hanging anybody.
There's a big misconception, or there's some misconception. It makes for good news, but a lot of people don't think the truth about the organization.
When you got a mass media that's very liberal, that are promoting all this, they're promoting transgenderism, they're promoting all kinds of immoral behavior, and they oppose groups like ours, not just us, but any group like ours who embrace the traditional values of a Christian society. They demonize with any names they can throw at them. And they've been throwing their names at us for years, but now as our ideology has become more accepted in what are called MAGA Republicans, now they're throwing at all Republicans. But some of the things that the Republican Party is endorsing now is, so we've been saying for years. We've been saying put troops on the border since the 1970s. We've been saying put troops on the border. We've been saying we should do drug testing for criminals, for people getting welfare and government handouts. There'd be drug testing. Now a lot of Republicans are saying the same thing. So as our ideology becomes, not under the banner of the Klan, but as our ideology becomes popular, not because of our efforts, because of many, many efforts, including Gerald O.K. Smith up at, I'm kind of doing another individual here, but Gerald O.K. Smith, who built the Passion Play, and Christ in the Ozarks, and Riggin Springs. You're familiar with that, right? Gerald O.K. Smith, the early supporter of my ministry. And he was very concerned. In 1950, he said that the goal, I'm paraphrasing, the goal of the globalists is to bring mass non-white immigration into America so white people will no longer have political power. He said that in 1950, 70 years ago. Did anybody listen to him? No, they didn't listen to him, but now we see it happening.
A black man calls you and tells you, I think the same way as you do, I have the same ideologies as you, I want white people to thrive and
we've had that happen.
Race be preserved, and I want to join the Klan. Why would you?
Well, they couldn't join.
Why?
Well, because we don't believe in integration. I'm not bring his family out to our conferences, have his kid dance around my kids, grandkids.
So, but you say that you have people from other races sympathize with you and your ideologies, but you wouldn't let them join your organization. You don't think that's discriminating someone based on their race?
Is there something wrong with discrimination? Isn't discrimination? You choose when you go to this grocery store and you pick out a steak to eat. Don't you discriminate?
Well, you can't
when you go out looking for a girlfriend, do you discriminate? Well, do you look for the cute girl? Do you look for the fat, ugly ones?
You're saying you are racist, right?
Well, again, what do you mean by racist?
Do you discriminate other people based on the race?
I favor my people, but I don't. But as far as hating on whites or If I'm in a store and some black woman walking through, put a whole door open for her, I'm not going to slam the door in her face. You know, I'm a gentleman, so I'm not going to do things like that. I've seen other people do things like that, but I can tell you numerous things I've done, but I'm not going to, it's no point in it. And the thing is, so I have no interest, and I don't know of anybody, I've never met anybody in the Klan who said they hated black people. I've never met anybody like that. That's only the ideology to demonize us from, they say this thing about almost all Republicans now. Almost every person, I don't know if you're a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. But everybody who supports Donald Trump now, they claim is a racist. Everybody who supports Donald Trump, they claim is a bigot. Everybody who supports Donald Trump, they claim wants to hurt black people. So they take that blank and lay it across everybody now who is a mega Republican. So those demonizing people with those phraseology is across the board, everybody. And so whether it be us or whether it be just somebody who may be a mayor of some small town or may be a Republican and supports Donald Trump, they're going to call them the same names.
How do you feel about people from other races coming into your home? For example, would you invite, I don't know, a black person, a Hispanic person into your home for dinner?
No.
Never?
No.
In the hypothetical case.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
All right, now hypothetical questions can be weird.
That the power of this whole country was up to you. How would you fix the invasion, as you call it, problem? How would you fix that problem?
I could fix the immigration problem in this country, well, costing U.S. taxpayers 1 penny, or you're using 1 military personnel or troop on the border.
Can you elaborate on that?
Pardon?
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. It wouldn't cost America 1 cent. It wouldn't cost 1 soldier on the border. All I have to do is ask for a citizens militia.
And you think that would solve the problem?
I think thousands of people would volunteer on their own expense, pack up their AR-15s, pack a picnic lunch, and have a barbecue on the border and protect our border. And it wouldn't cost the taxpayers 1 penny.
Even if violence.
It wouldn't be violence. It wouldn't be violence.
If there's
how many people
militia in the border?
Yeah, how many
people is trying to cross? Are you going to shoot them?
How many people crossing the border would have to be shot before the people stop trying to come? 1 or 2 maybe. Then the message would be out. Yeah, I would say protect our nation. If we're invaded by the Japanese in World War II, we would shoot them, wouldn't we? All right, we put them in prison camps. All right, so yes, we have a right to protect our homeland. And I would call for a citizens militia to be on the border, and I guarantee it wouldn't take more than 1 or 2 incidences, and they would know, don't cross the border.